The end of an era. Farewell to Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness. On a quiet morning that shook the music world to its core, legendary rock icon Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 76. The announcement, made by his family, resonated far beyond the confines of his devoted fan base. It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning, they shared. Though the words were few, the weight of their grief was unmistakable, echoing in the hearts of millions who grew up with Ozzy's voice blazing through speakers, his rebellious spirit challenging norms, and his raw vulnerability making him more than just a rock star. He was an enduring symbol of survival and transformation. Born John Michael Osbourne in Birmingham, England, on December 3, 1948, Ozzy's journey from working-class hardship to international fame is one of rock's most compelling sagas. Known worldwide as the Prince of Darkness, he embodied contradiction. A wild, unpredictable showman on stage, a deeply reflective, sometimes troubled, yet loving family man off stage. It was these contrasts that made him so compelling and so deeply human. Just 3 weeks before his death, Ozzy stood before a sea of fans at Villa Park, the iconic home of his beloved Aston Villa Football Club, for what would become his farewell performance. Standing alongside his Black Sabbath bandmates, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, the man whose voice had once defined a generation seemed to be saying goodbye not only to his fans but to the life he had built on music, mayhem, and sheer resilience. "You've no idea how I feel, thank you from the bottom of my heart," Ozzy told the crowd, his words laden with gratitude and a touch of sorrow. Many in the audience, aware of his health struggles, sensed the poignancy of the moment. This wasn't merely a farewell concert, but the closing chapter of a legendary saga. The night was filled with songs that transcended time, reminding everyone of the power and energy that Ozzy, even in his later years, could command. The setlist was a testament to his love for rock itself, including tributes to other legendary acts like Guns N' Roses and Metallica, artists who had both influenced him and been influenced by him in return. Ozzy's last performance was a triumph of spirit over the frailty of the human body. Diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2019, he also suffered complications from a severe fall that same year. Yet he refused to step away quietly. His determination to give fans a final show reflected his lifelong devotion to those who supported him, from the gritty pubs of Birmingham to the grandest stadiums on earth. Throughout his life, Ozzy Osbourne's career was marked by reinvention and resilience. First as the frontman of Black Sabbath, he helped forge the very genre of heavy metal with dark, thunderous riffs and haunting lyrics that spoke to a generation disillusioned by war, economic hardship, and cultural upheaval. Songs like Paranoid, Iron Man, and War Pigs were more than music. They became anthems of rebellion and introspection. After parting ways with Black Sabbath in 1979, many assumed his career was over. Instead, Ozzy launched an astonishingly successful solo journey, collaborating with extraordinary talents like guitarist Randy Rhoads. Albums such as Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman not only cemented his status as a solo artist but also produced timeless hits like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley. His music, always raw and unapologetically personal, reflected his battles with addiction, loss, and self-doubt. Beyond his music, Ozzy became an unlikely pop culture icon in the early 2000s through the reality TV show The Osbournes, which offered fans an unfiltered, sometimes chaotic glimpse into his family life with wife Sharon and their children. The show's mix of humor, dysfunction, and heartfelt moments revealed Ozzy's vulnerability and humanity, broadening his audience and redefining his public image. Yet despite the often humorous or controversial headlines, it was his music and live performances that kept fans loyal across decades. Few artists have achieved what Ozzy did, remaining relevant and beloved in an industry known for its fleeting nature. His distinctive voice, both haunting and strangely comforting, became the soundtrack to countless lives. Ozzy's accolades reflected this lasting impact. He received 5 Grammy Awards from 12 nominations, an extraordinary testament to his artistic power. His name is immortalized on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he holds places in both the UK Music Hall of Fame and the US Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not just once but twice, as a solo artist and as part of Black Sabbath. As news of his death spread, tributes poured in from fellow musicians, fans, and cultural figures around the world. Many described Ozzy not just as a pioneer, but as a man whose authenticity resonated even beyond his music. Fellow rock legends recalled late-night tour bus conversations about life, death, and everything in between. Younger artists spoke of how Ozzy's music inspired them to pick up guitars and chase their own dreams. For his family, however, the loss was deeply personal. He was with his family and surrounded by love, their statement assured. Those words offered a small comfort. After decades spent traveling the world, sharing his voice with millions, Ozzy's final moments were spent in peace, surrounded by those who knew him not as a legend, but as a husband, father, and grandfather. While Ozzy's passing marks the end of an era, his influence remains alive in every note of metal, hard rock, and even in the rebellious energy of countless artists who followed him. His songs will continue to fill stadiums, echo in headphones, and be discovered by new generations drawn to the raw emotion and uncompromising spirit that defined his music. Even more than the records and awards, Ozzy Osbourne's legacy lies in his refusal to be defined by his struggles. Addiction, injury, illness, none of it silenced him. Instead, it shaped an artist whose music spoke directly to the darkness and the light that coexist within us all. Through every triumph and tragedy, Ozzy remained himself, flawed, fearless, and fiercely devoted to his fans. For those who loved him, the grief is softened by gratitude. Gratitude for the music that provided solace and strength, for the performances that felt like shared rituals, and for the reminder that even the darkest paths can lead to something profoundly beautiful. In the end, the Prince of Darkness taught us that the shadows we fear can also become the canvas on which we paint our most honest truths. And though his voice may be silenced, its echo will remain, loud, defiant, and immortal. As the final chords of his farewell concert still linger in memory, one thing is clear: Ozzy Osbourne was more than a rock star. He was a force, a survivor, and above all, a storyteller whose music helped millions find words for their own struggles and dreams. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Thank you, from the bottom of our hearts, for everything.